Welcome to Bedford High School here in Bedford, New Hampshire, where the BCTV crew will bring you today's girls lacrosse action. Division I action here against the Souhegan Sabres. The Bedford Bulldogs will play host. My name is Corey Munster-Tiger. I'm here in the studio with Kevin Gibbs. Kevin, tough one today. This should be a battle.
This is a game of very evenly matched teams. The records aren't close, but that's, I think, a factor affecting that is the fact that Bedford played quite a few out-of-state teams, which you always want to do to try to toughen your team up. And when you look at head-to-head, both of them played Pinkerton really tight. Both of them played Exeter about the same. It's going to be a great matchup. Two very well-coached, strong-playing teams.
Absolutely. So these two teams, again, coming in, like you said, the records are not necessarily terribly equal. However, athletes on both sides, traditional powerhouses for these two teams on this marvelous day. We finally got a break in the weather. Yesterday and today have been absolutely gorgeous. High 70s, low 80s, sunny, a little cloud here and there, but overall just absolutely phenomenal weather for today's match.
This is what our founding fathers envisioned when they put this high school complex together about 20 years ago. This is the type of day that you want for a home match on the turf.
Souhegan comes in with that record today of 9-3. Bedford comes in with that 8-6 record, so not terribly different, but again, the standings showing those challenges and the differences there. Bedford, again, as you mentioned, has had a couple of tough out-of-state games. They lost to Kennebunk early in the season, 10-5, dropped to Exeter and Bishop Girton on back-to-back games there in tight matches. Reading Memorial, they also lost another out-of-stater, 14-8, and then they had a real tough setback against Portsmouth, 21-1 against an absolute dominant team out of Portsmouth.
I was here doing that game with Harry, and Portsmouth is a step above in terms of their execution and the way they defend. And to Bedford's credit, they came back 2 days later and battled Pinkerton. They lost 12-10, but I'll tell you, it was a good contest, and it showed what the team is capable of against a strong opponent.
Sure did. Pinkerton, another traditional powerhouse in girls lacrosse here in Division I high school lacrosse. They will take on Souhegan obviously today, and then they finish up their season tomorrow afternoon at Goffstown. The Bedford Community Television team will bring that through the Goffstown feed, so we will not be broadcasting it as a BCTV crew, but you should be able to get that on BCTV channels 8 and 1072. We have time on the board. We are just about ready for the opening draw. Kevin, any last thoughts as we get ready for action?
Just that you want to close out the season against as many strong opponents as possible to get ready for the playoffs. There's a very short turnaround. The girls Division I lacrosse playoffs start next Tuesday, and you don't want to finish against weaker teams. You want to finish against a strong opponent so that you are well prepared going into that postseason.
Gets you in the right mindset, gets you into that competitive flow of things. Juices are flowing. You're absolutely ready to take on and make a deep playoff run. We're still doing some stick checks down on the field for Souhegan at this point. We'll get starters announced momentarily. So Souhegan, again, as we mentioned, comes in with that 9-3 record. They've only lost to Portsmouth somewhat early in the season back on April 21st. That was a 10-goal margin, 16-6. They also dropped one to Pinkerton, a 1-goal game at Pinkerton, 9-8. And then another 1-goal game against Exeter, 12-11. So again, some quality opponents, playing them tough throughout the season, and they should be quite the test this afternoon for the Bulldogs.
In terms of teams at the top of the standings, both Bedford and Souhegan beat South, who I believe is sitting with a 12-4 record at the moment. Bedford did lose to Bishop Girton, but Souhegan beat Bishop Girton. So this should be pretty evenly matched going in. It'll be a great game to watch.
We did mention Portsmouth, an absolute juggernaut this year. They are 16-0, undefeated on the season so far, and Pinkerton with that 13-3 record comes in at second place in the standings right now. Kevin, you mentioned at the start of our pre-broadcast meeting that Bedford is locked into their playoff position at this point, but this does have an impact for Souhegan this afternoon and their positioning and seeding as they approach playoffs as well.
I spent some time looking at the various possibilities, and it appears that Bedford is locked into that 7th seed. Not that they don't want to give it everything that they can. Souhegan could be anywhere from 3rd to 6th, depending upon the outcome of their final matchups. So, again, nobody's taking this game as a ride out the circuit. They're both going to be competing hard to try to get that win.
We'll round down starters on each side as you hear them in the stadium. First for the Souhegan Sabres, starters will include number 1, Izzy Stevenson, a sophomore midfielder. Number 2, Libby Kennedy, sophomore midfielder. Number 3, Emerson Curran, freshman attacker. Number 4, Natalie Highmark, a senior midfielder. Number 5, Abby Gianetti, she's a senior attacker. Number 6, Marley Bacon, she's a junior defender. Number 7, Avery Curran, she's also a freshman out there getting a start as an attacker. Number 11, Eva Stiles, she's a junior defender. Number 12, Lanai Hickman, sophomore attack. Number 13, Sophie Jacobs, sophomore D. Number 23, Madison Ben, freshman D. And in goal, Emma Chrisman, the senior keeper. For the Bulldogs, number 1, Carly Hodgson-Rogers, a junior midfielder. Number 3, Maddie Kiley, a senior midfielder. Number 5, Tegan O'Donnell, a junior midfielder. Number 8, Emma Saruso, senior midfielder. Number 9, Nikita Berry, junior midfielder. Number 11, Mel Gibson, junior D. Number 14, Andy Nugent, junior D. Number 15, Leah LeBlanc, she's a senior attacker. Number 16, Izzy Rogers, a senior attacker. Number 31, Maren Slosberg, senior midfielder. Number 35, the junior D, Kathleen De Silva. And number 33, Irene Tsai will start in goal.
BCTV and WBNH thank our underwriters. Primary Bank, New Hampshire's bank for business. PrimaryBankNH.com. The Wicks Insurance Group, serving New Hampshire and the Bedford community with auto, home, life, and business insurance since 1984. TheWicksInsuranceGroup.com. Interim Healthcare of Manchester, personalizing care to help meet your unique health needs. InterimHealthcare.com. Nelson Real Estate of New Hampshire, your local brokerage boutique. Relationships built on trust. MrsNelsonsNeighborhood.com. Great New Hampshire restaurants. Food tastes better with family. Tbones.com or CopperDoor.com.
Quick word there from our underwriters as well as the anthem, and we are just about ready to go.
Of note is the fact that this being senior day for Bedford, there are some seniors in the starting lineup that might not normally be starting. Souhegan starts 3 freshmen, including sisters, I'm going to assume, since they're both freshman twins, but I could be wrong, Emerson Curran and Avery Curran. And then Madison Ben, freshman defender. And again, a small team, a program that in most of their sports they play Division II, but in the case of girls lacrosse, they petition up to Division I because they're more than capable, as they've proven, to hang with the stronger, larger schools.
As we've talked about, they've put together that juggernaut of a program headed by McKinley Spordone. She's a phenomenal coach. Obviously does a lot of coaching in the off-season too with her Granite State Elite program, and has been at the tops of girls lacrosse in the state of New Hampshire for quite some time. Teams are taking the field now. Last year's on the sidelines, and opening draw will be in just a few moments. Once again, as you mentioned, congratulations to the 5 seniors this afternoon. Maddie Kiley, Emma Saruso, Leah LeBlanc, Izzy Rogers, and Maren Slosberg, the 5 seniors on this Bedford Bulldogs girls lacrosse team. She also mentioned that a few of them are getting a start this afternoon as appropriate on senior day. Might see some substitutions after a short little bit. We have 12 minutes on the board. Opening draw is just about ready to go. And we're underway. Opening draw controlled by number 2, Libby Kennedy for the Sabres. They'll work it through the midfield, but that pass is broken up by Makita Berry. She motors into the offensive end looking for transition. And now we'll settle things down and get into their half-field offense. Lee LeBlanc behind. Near side for Emma Caruso. And now LeBlanc will take it back behind. Missed pass there with Rogers, and the Bulldogs turn it over. Madison Ben will pick it up, the freshman for the Sabres, and pass to her goalie teammate, Emma Chrisman, who gets picked off out to the right side. A goal line extended, bringing it all the way in and scoring. Maddie Kiley, beautiful play to pick that off, bring it in, and cash in on the Bulldogs' first goal of the afternoon. See there on the replay, just nice interception. Dodged 2 players on the way in and was able to put Bedford up 1-0.
Less than a minute ticked off, and Bedford is already on the board. That's always a good sign. It's good for the psyche as well.
Great start for the senior midfielder. Kiley has been such a force since day one with this program. Back to the draw. Kiley again against Kennedy for the Sabres. Didn't look like that ball got quite high enough. No objections from the referees, and Kiley scoops up the loose ball along the near sideline. So bring it all the way in. Foul called there on Izzy Stevenson. They play right through it. And now behind Rogers. Rolls away from pressure and finds Caruso near side. Another missed pass here, and the Bulldogs turn it over. And the ball bounces out and above and beyond that retaining net behind the cage. So
usually there's a few balls placed around the perimeter of the field for situations like that, but it looks like we don't have them this time.
Yeah, a little strange not to have a few balls on the end line there. I think it's definitely needed in the boys' game with those shots coming past the net at 70, 80, perhaps 90 miles per hour, but less frequently needed for the girls' game, as cleared out by Marley Bacon and dumped into the offensive end for Avery Curran. She'll settle things down and get the Sabres offense moving. Here's Stevenson up top. Far side now for Hickman. Driving hard, trying to find some room. Nice job on the defense by Mel Gibson. Far side now, Stevenson. She'll take it behind. Oh, excuse me, that is Curran. Curran gets the inside roll, fires it over the net. That was Emerson Curran. Small number, so it's tough to see from up here as the Sabres started in. Lefty drive, trying to get high side. I believe that was Gianetti. And now to Hickman. Split dodge to her left, rolls back. Getting around and trying to get that slight edge on Gibson, but Gibson's playing nice position defense, but finally getting a little room left-handed. Lanai Hickman picks that top right corner on Irene Sy, and they knot it up.
Souhegan goal by number 12, Lanai Hickman.
Souhegan seems to move fairly well. Key, obviously, is for Bedford to make sure that they stay in front of them as much as possible. She made a nice move on Mel Gibson there and was able to kind of get past her hips just enough to get that shot off.
And that's exactly right. That little space between the hips, getting her hands free with that strong left hand and burying that top right corner. Nice play there by Hickman, knotting the score at 1 with 9 minutes left in the first.
No complaints about that one getting high enough.
No, not at all. Empty check there. And Sabres will get the loose ball on the foul. Roll back to the right by Stevenson. Sidearm shot just wide to the right of Irene Sias Cage. Backed up behind by the Sabres, though. They'll have another go at it. Emerson Curran gets high side. Hands free. Save Cy. Good job standing her ground right there at the goal line. Now here's Avery Curran. It's to her right. Back to her left. Shot goes high. Curran behind for the backup. Now at X for Giannetti. Looking for cutters inside. Here's Stevenson on the right wing. Right hand. Trying to drive. Beautiful defense there by Makita Berry. Keeping her feet moving. Body to body. Equal pressure. Nice job by Berry. Little stutter step here from Hickman. Trying to get her hands free again. Lefty rolling back to the right. Good help defense by the Bulldogs. Now gets free with her left hand and beats Cy to that offside. Hickman with her second. And the Sabres go up 2-1.
She stayed with it. Rather than giving the ball up, she continued to attack and was finally rewarded. Again, it's important that Bedford try to minimize the number of shots Souhegan is able to get on goal, because they do seem to be very effective when they're going one-on-one.
Good patience, like you mentioned, a little rocker step for Hickman to get the defender off balance. Just enough space to get that shot off and beat Cy to that offside. Nice placement just inside the post. So 2-1, Souhegan leads. 7:34 left in the first. And we go to the draw. Same two, Kylie versus Kennedy. Coming away with the ground ball, but called for an infraction with Stevenson, so the Bulldogs will get possession. Here's LeBlanc. They fire it all the way behind. Eloise Montagano.
Yeah, Eloise is normally a starter for the Bulldogs. She started the game on the sidelines in deference to seniors, but she is now back out there, and we expect to see her having some impact on the game offensively.
Quick pass there, and now back behind. Looks for the cutter through the middle, can't make the connection, but nice job by Hodgson Rogers to scoop up that loose ball, and she gets fouled on the way towards the net. Push her out to the 12-meter, though. She was not inside that fan area, so no free position. Offside was Maren Slosberg looking to find some room. Couldn't quite get there. The Bulldogs, a couple of tight passes there, but they do square away the ground ball. Pass through the middle, they can't make the connection to the cutter, but chasing it down again is Hodgson Rogers. Hot pass there off the stick of LeBlanc. Montagano with the ground ball. Apologies, Eloise. It's with Kylie behind now. Pressure on LeBlanc. She spins away. Gets rid of it, finds Kylie. Kylie looking for the cutter in the middle, can't find it. Ground ball gets all the way back out to that restraining line, but again, Hodgson Rogers with the ground ball. Kylie double and triple teamed. Her pass to the far side goes a bit high for Slosberg. They chase it down. Sticks are flying, bodies are flying. It gets batted by, I believe, Slosberg's stick, and they award it to the Sabres as it trickles over that sideline on the far side. The Sabres find Stevenson near side, and she'll motor through the midfield. Just under 5 minutes to go here in the first. The Sabres ahead 2-1. As Stevenson will settle things down. The Bedford defense gets back in transition well, and the Sabres will set up their half-field offense. Nice little give and go cut there.
Ooh.
Stevenson had a shot on cage, but couldn't quite get it on frame. Misses high and right.
I'll tell you, Souhegan has been extremely close to being up 5-1 instead of 2-1. They've had some really good shot opportunities on the net.
Here's Curran. I absolutely agree with you. A couple sailed over. Couldn't quite find the cage. Cy has come up with at least one, if not two saves early on here too, and as you said, could be 5 or 6-1 at this point. Good position defense there. I believe that was De Silva on that far side. Hickman now, top center, looks for a pick. Good help defense from the side. As Tegan O'Donnell got some foot position there. Souhegan offense continuing to work, moving their feet, looking for picks and cuts and finish here.
Yep.
Great shot by Izzy Stevenson. Finds that low left corner as you see on the replay here. Cut, gets a pick. Beautiful pass, beautiful catch, beautiful finish. Stevenson scores. Higher mark, I believe, with assist.
Number 4, Natalie Highmark.
So 3-1 is your score. The Sabres up 2.
It's the first Souhegan goal that registered an assist too. They've been pretty effective going one-on-one with a lot of their shots and their goals that they've scored to this point.
And just such a patient approach down there. They're not looking for the first available. They're looking for the best available.
I'm impressed with their cutting patterns and the way they're picking the defense apart. And as you said, the patience really is paying off.
And just a ton of off-ball movement too. Not only cuts, but picking away from the ball just to try to get teammates available and cutters available. Back to the draw. Ground ball scooped up here by Makita Berry. She'll motor into the offensive end. Just high on the fan. She'll pull it down and pass to Montagano. Molly Muir. And now Kylie draws a double. Patter
nice
in the
pass.
middle. Beautiful pass and finish by Eloise Montagano. Bulldogs back to within 1, 3-2. See there on the replay, just getting a little bit of separation from the defender. Kylie drew 2, beat it the first, drew the second, passed out of the double team, and Eloise Montagano with the finish. So Kylie with a goal and an assist.
Number 2,
Montagano
assist number 3,
with the goal. Am I saying that name right?
I think it's Montagano.
Montagano?
Montagano,
okay.
yeah.
Montagano. Just want to make sure.
Yeah, the switchboard is lighting up with people complaining.
Complaints from across the Bedford viewership.
That's right.
Apologies. As Eloise scoops up the ground ball, she gets fouled. And the Bulldogs will restart.
Waiting for a teammate to make a stick switch.
Here's Molly Muir. Back to Kylie. Sabres playing the backer defense there. As you can see, number 13, Sophie Jacobs, hovering near the ball, providing an immediate double when necessary, specifically on Maddie Kylie. Pass behind, gets tipped out of bounds, and a turnover by the Bulldogs. Sabres will scoop it up and look to clear. 2 minutes to go here in the first. 3-2 lead for the Sabres. Montagano will get called for a foul there. Told to go behind of Sophie Jacobs. Referee repositions. Jacobs near side for Ben. Into the middle, they're climbing the ladder here with Eva Stiles. Avery Curran tries to drive middle, pass inside to Stevenson. She'll pull it back out. Split dodge to her left, draws the double. Little give and go.
I was just going to say that, yeah. A little back and forth there.
And now,
nice steal by Gibson.
Yeah, Mel Gibson comes away with the loose ball. She draws a crowd. Nice job and patience to find the cutting midfielder up top. There's Montagano. She draws a crowd as well. She keeps going. Bulldogs with under a minute to go here in the first. We'll settle things down and try to get a last quality shot for the close of this period. Kylie brings it from behind. Draws 2 and 3, finds the cutter. Oh, Montagano can't finish. Nice catch in traffic though. Her shot low and wide of the cage. And now driving hard again, Kylie. Shot goes wide, but scooped up by the Bulldogs on the far side. Here's Molly Muir. Now LeBlanc, Montagano, 10 seconds left, save by the senior goalie, Emma Chrisman.
Souhegan was swarming wherever the ball was. They were sending 2 and 3 people at it every moment to try to make sure no shots were attempted.
That last shot was a tough one. Eloise Montagano just wanted to get one off. She did, and Chrisman was able to eat it up. So 3-2 is your score after 1. Kevin, any thoughts from that first period?
Only that the contest is exactly what we figured. I have seen Bedford a few times this year. I obviously have not seen Souhegan. They're very patient, as you mentioned. They're very measured in how they attack. And I think that's the difference in the game so far. A lot of the action has been in their offensive end, and I think it's because of the way they take care of the ball. And Bedford started out with that first goal, kind of expected things might go from there, but again, Souhegan came back with 2 of their own, and no surprises really in terms of how this game's being played.
They're definitely trying to pick on that top right corner stick side, off stick side on Cy, as the first 2 goals did go top right. As you mentioned, Maddie Kiley started scoring for the Bulldogs to get them out to a 1-goal lead, and then Hickman scored twice, Stevenson the 3rd time for the Sabres, with Bedford answering close to the end of the quarter. Montagano from Kiley puts it as a 1-goal margin for the Sabres.
Of note, Corey, is that this is the last regular season week for all of the spring sports, with the exception of tennis, which they start their playoffs this week, and I believe quite a few of the Bedford teams are in action today. Hopefully we'll be able to get some score updates for our viewers and listeners as the contest moves on.
That would be fantastic. Andrew Fenn back in the studio, phenomenal at providing replays. Hopefully we get a couple of score updates too. We at BCTV and WBNH would like to thank our underwriters as well for supporting our live sports coverage. Primary Bank, the Wicks Insurance Group, Interim Healthcare of Manchester, Nelson Real Estate of New Hampshire, and Great New Hampshire Restaurants, T-Bones or the Copper Door. They're phenomenal at providing support and really giving us the opportunity to bring everybody out there live sports coverage. So thank you again. A couple of broadcasts upcoming. As we mentioned, the girls lacrosse program will travel to our neighbors to the north, Goffstown, as they will take on the Grizzlies tomorrow afternoon. 4 p.m. is the start, and we will bring you that through the Goffstown local television feed. So Kevin and I will not be traveling for that. Kevin, I know you have a lot on your plate tomorrow afternoon, so we won't be able to travel up to Goffstown. We will also bring you the boys lacrosse game, as this is a pivotal one for playoff seeding. They will take on the Pinkerton Astros on Friday evening at 6 p.m. That's a new start time. I believe it was pushed back from 5:30 to 6 p.m. So please tune in for that one. You can watch all that action live on BCTV, channels 8 and HD 1072, or on the BCTV app after the game.
Yeah, that'll be a big contest going into today. Bedford and Pinkerton are both at 12-4 in the standings. BG at 11-4 and Exeter at 12-5. There's a lot at stake these last 3 days of the regular season in boys lacrosse, to be sure.
And both of those two teams, I believe, have 3 games this week. The boys team playing yesterday and today. I think Pinkerton played 2 games earlier this week, or maybe 1 today, and then also on Friday. So those teams will be at their physical limits on Friday evening for an important match as they close out the regular season. We are back and ready for the second quarter draw. Teams have switched sides. We're ready to go. Again, Bulldogs trailing the Sabres 3-2 as we get ready to start the second. Kylie controls the draw for the Bulldogs. She'll jog it into the offensive area and settle things down. She'll switch out her stick as her teammates bring it behind.
Coach Hodgson seems to have gone with her normal starting lineup, if my eyes don't deceive me, as we go into this second period.
Mary Lenti drives the middle, gets double and triple teams, so she'll bring it back out. Finds Molly Muir, and now Kylie. She draws 2. Gets high side with the left hand, but draws a triple team. Now Makita Berry will try. Leah LeBlanc. Kylie back to LeBlanc. Good defense there by Sophie Jacobs. Kylie gets pushed.
We have a score update. Softball, Spalding 9, Bedford 0 in the bottom of the 4th. That game is out in Rochester.
Kylie here drives high side. Little floater across the fan there. Gets batted once and twice. Finally finds the stick of Carly Hodgson-Rogers. She's done a phenomenal job on the loose balls, getting a number of ground balls so far in this first and early second quarter. Ball pops out there, though, and Chrisman will scoop it up for the Sabres and clear things out from the crease. Far side, Jacobs misses the connection through midfield. Loose ball. Scooped. Nice job by Molly Muir, getting that ground ball in traffic. And now on the attack, Mary Lenti. Headmans, go. Eloise Montagano.
I believe it was from Lenti, too, one of Bedford's trio of very strong freshmen.
It sure was. You can see on the replay, Lenti with that ball through midfield. Headman to Eloise Montagano, and Montagano gets her second of the day and knots the game at 3.
Montagano.
New game.
Assistant number 21.
Lenti was a real bright spot in that contest against Portsmouth. She was very aggressive. She had a lot of really good shots on goal and played fearlessly.
You like to see that out of the freshman. Showing some strength there, running through a couple of stick checks as well. Not afraid of the physical contact. Was able to make a beautiful pass to the lead player, and again Montagano with the finish. 9:51 to go here in the first half. 3-3 is your score. Bulldogs playing a more defensive positioning on the draw, as you normally see, as they had 5 players in the defensive area at the draw. Great
nice shot.
Cut, great dodge by Izzy Stevenson. She finds that top right corner again. See here, just a little split dodge, sets it up with her left hand, yanks it over to her right, 2, 3, 4 strides, gets a little space, and finds that top right corner. Her second of the day, and puts the Sabres right back up by 1.
A little bit of a deja vu for the first quarter. Bedford comes out with a goal, and Souhegan comes right back and takes one themselves.
So just a few seconds later, off the draw, back into the offensive set. Izzy Stevenson with a quick dodge, and Barry And the Sabres with a 1-goal lead. We're back to the draw. Kylie versus Kennedy. Big collision there at midfield. A couple players sprawled out on the field, and a chase down on that far side goes off of Carly Hodgson-Rogers. So the Sabres will have the possession. And they trotted into the offensive end. Shot here. Libby Kennedy, a bit high and outside. Trying to test Cy from distance. And now the Sabres back into that patient approach. Working from behind here. Goal line extended to the left. And now bringing it all the way around is Hickman. She'll clear it out, try to go to work on Mel Gibson. Gets the edge, gets the goal. That's Hickman again. That's her third on the day. And she puts the Sabres up by 2.
Well, there's no doubt who Bedford needs to focus on and check off a little bit. Hat trick.
Number 12.
4 minutes into, actually 3.5 minutes into the second quarter.
And Hickman with her third of the day. So as you were talking about runs, Kylie opened scoring in that first quarter. The Sabres went on a 3-goal run, answered by the Bulldogs' Montagano before the first ended. Now Montagano starts it in the second quarter, answered very quickly by 2 goals from the Sabres, and they jump back out to a 2-goal lead. 5-3 is your score. 8:32 left in the first half. Hickman just showing some moves, some patience, some shiftiness to get free. And once she did, she had no defenders in front of her. Tough one for Cy. And Hickman made good. Sabres win the draw. Play by Kennedy. Save here by Cy. Stevenson testing from the outside. Oh, excuse me, that was Curran, Avery Curran on the shot. Cy stands tall and gets that with her stick up high. Kylie has 5 Sabres players around her. She runs through. She'll bring it all the way to the end line. Get pushed there. Quick update if you're looking for the baseball game. It got moved to 7. Softball game is here.
Yeah, I was going to say, we just got a notice from our producer that baseball is at Spalding. Softball is right here at Silvosky Field if anybody's looking to hop in their cars and get over and catch the softball team in action.
Hodgson-Rogers with the dodge. And now Montagano will be fouled. Gets a free position. The defense collapses quickly, and they check it away from behind. Nice check there by Izzy Stevenson. Stevenson.
It's got a lot of speed.
Sprinting, yeah, absolutely. Right through the midfield. We'll get a foul on her from Gibson. She'll be sent behind. Stevenson awarded position on the 12-meter. She'll start things out. Pass inside, getting free and getting room. Abby Giannetti. Good catch, little traffic, and finishes quickly.
I was trying to hear who the assist was from.
Yeah, Giannetti just finds a little space there.
Number 5, Abby Giannetti. Assist number 12.
They give the assist to Hickman. She now has 3 and 1.
Timeout, Bedford.
And the Bulldogs will take a timeout. 6:26 to go in this first half. And the Sabres push it out to a 3-goal lead.
Yeah, the largest lead so far of the game, and it's a a good timeout taken by Coach Hodgson. You need to kind of get everybody on the same page, get them refocused as to what they want to do. And truly, you're kind of at a critical juncture here where you want to make sure it doesn't get out of hand, especially when a team as strong as Souhegan is on the field with you. You want to make sure that you hold the line defensively and get more aggressive offensively.
Good chance to talk things over, settle things down, and get your players in the right mindset. If you're enjoying today's broadcast, BCTV's live channels and on-demand content are now easier to access at your fingertips than ever before. Bedford Community Television is available for free download on Apple iOS and Android. Download the Bedford Community Television app from your app store today. We also want to make a quick note. The officials have been doing a great job keeping track of the game so far with normal expectations of their keeping control of the game as well as not being a part of the game, if you know what I mean, right? Not influencing other things other than making the correct calls. If anybody out there is interested in becoming a high school sports official, it's an easy call. Officiating allows you to continue to be a role model by demonstrating qualities such as impartiality, fairness, and courage. High school sports officials help protect the integrity of the games we love by teaching and enforcing the rules of play. New officials have an opportunity to make a difference in their communities right away. To learn more about becoming a high school sports official, please visit nhiaa.org.
There were two really good officials doing this game today, Margaret Metzen and Madison Driscoll. I've done enough games over the last few years to know that they are at the top of their game, and it's nice to see the assigners recognize the games that need the better officials to make sure that everything runs smoothly, as you've just said.
Smoothly they have gone, other than the Bedford Bulldogs at a 3-goal deficit at this point. 6-3 is your score as we get ready to get started again. 6:26 remains in the first half. Bulldogs going to try to get one or two back before this half expires. Mary Lenti will take the draw, this time against Libby Kennedy. Ready to go, and that ball fires towards the Bedford defensive end. Pushed away and scooped up by Lanai Hickman. Cut through the middle, great pass, great catch, Hickman to Kennedy. And just like that, a 4-goal margin.
Obviously a set play, but even if it wasn't a set play, it was good recognition on the part of the Souhegan players to see where the gaps were in the defense, and again, a good hard cut to the net gets rewarded.
And it seemed like it was just a little bit of a delayed cut too. Kennedy, biding her time and then sprinting right through the middle, catching the defense a little off guard, and Hickman, great awareness. Saw her teammate streaking through the middle there, put it on her stick, and finishing nicely. Kennedy putting the Sabres ahead 7-3.
To borrow from my basketball life, I always tell my players, fake slow, break fast. You catch the defense sleeping a little bit, and I think that's what happened there.
Bulldogs come away with the ensuing draw, and now they'll settle things down and try to answer. Here's Montagano. Working along that end line. Now Muir testing the waters there. She'll pull it back out. Lenti back behind. Defender goes for the steal, couldn't make it. Feed inside. Looking for Hodgson Rogers. She couldn't squeeze it, and the Sabres.
Oh, we got a card coming out.
We do. We have a card. Looks like it will be on Montagano. She'll go in the box and feel shame, as Stevenson will pick it up for the Sabres. 5:31 to go in this first half. 7-3. Souhegan leads the Bulldogs. Along that far sideline, here's Madison Ben. checked out of bounds nicely. That was Kylie with the hustle play, running step for step and getting a legal check in. Now Makita Berry. All the way into the offensive end, and she'll settle things down. Lenti, little stutter step, can't quite get the edge. Backing around for Berry. Berry drives hard. Hodgson Rogers. She gets the edge, tries to split the defenders, does. Bounce shot is good.
Gets herself a goal. That was big.
Great persistence there by Carly Hodgson Rogers. See her with that initial face dodge there, splits the two defenders, quick little bounce shot. Beats Emma Chrisman. Bulldogs back to within 3.
Yeah, with 4:40 to go here in the first half, I think it's critical that Bedford holds the line and picks up at least another goal, preferably 2, to kind of turn this into more of a contest going into the second half.
Tighten that margin, see what they can do. Back to the draw circle, 4:40 to go here in the half. Bulldogs still with a timeout remaining. Sabres have 2. Lenti back to the draw versus Kennedy. A lot of discussion there for this one as they try to get the stick positioning exactly correct. Lenti for the Bulldogs comes away with it. Nice draw and control. She's getting chased down from behind. Good stick check there by Izzy Stevenson, trailing from behind, biding her time, and got the check. The ball goes out of bounds, and Stevenson will scoop it up for the Sabres. Ooh, procedure.
Yeah.
Missed that one. What was that?
Well, the official kept calling her to a different spot, and she chose to throw it in where she wanted to, and
gotcha.
The official basically was like, turnover.
Tough one there for Stevenson as she turns it over for the Bulldogs. Here's Kylie. Guarded by Stevenson way out top. Makita Berry now. She'll drive hard, gets the edge, splits the defenders and draws a crowd. 3 in the fan there, and she decides to pull it back out. Maintains possession. Now Hodgson Rogers uses the speed to the outside. Bouncer goes just wide to the left. Lenti there for the ground ball. And now Kylie. Triple team, she finds the open cutter, and Montagano finishes. 3rd on the day from Eloise Montagano.
Yeah, assisted by Maddie Kiley on that one. It's a nice goal. And again, just like that, Bedford draws within 2. Still over 3 minutes to go here in the first half.
Bedford go by number 2, Eloise Montagano.
So a goal and 2 assists for Maddie Kiley. 3 goals for Eloise Montagano. Bulldogs back to within 3:13 remaining here in the first half. Key change here, they have Mary Lenti taking the last few draws here, and she's been doing a nice job for the Bulldogs, gaining control, giving these additional offensive opportunities. Good adjustment there by Coach Hodgson.
Well, again, that's the sign of a good coach. You go in with a particular game plan, you see what's going on, who's succeeding in different areas, and you make the adjustments. And I told you, against Portsmouth, Lenti was unfazed. She was very aggressive. She played really nice defense, and got a nice future ahead of her here in Bedford. She's only a freshman.
As you say, just a freshman wins that one again. Back to Kylie, who controls the draw, and the Bulldogs back in the offensive end. Here's LeBlanc. Back to Kylie. Hodgson Rogers. They spin it behind for Molly Muir. Now Lenti near side. Looks for the cutter in the middle. Great catch in traffic by Montagano, and she'll earn a free position to the top right of Chrisman. She'll stay on the 8-meter, first one we've seen today for either team. And Eloise Montagano takes a step. Great save down low.
Nice
Emma
save.
Chrisman, quick hands, great positioning, and keeps it a 2-goal game. Well done by the Sabres goalkeeper. Here's Eva Stiles, motoring it all the way into the offensive end. And Hickman will set things up. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Sabres hold that 2-goal lead. Emerson Curran. Draws a double, ball pops out. Scooped up again, Hodgson Rogers, who will draw a foul on Stevenson. Hodgson Rogers all over the ground balls. She's a vacuum. Just call her the Hoover this afternoon as she now gets double teamed. And the double team is successful as the Sabres come away with it. Looks like Natalie Highmark on that far side. Good ride there by the Sabres, earning the ball back. Ticking down to about a minute, Stevenson dodges to her right, looks for cutters in the middle. Finds Kennedy.
1 minute remaining in the third.
Catch, and the shot goes high over the cage above Cy. Good defense there by Andy Nugent as they tried the goal line extended. I think we're going to get a moving pick here. That shot did go in, but they call a foul before the shot was released. They'll give it to Makita Barry, and the illegal screen was on Izzy Stevenson, so they send her behind. Barry is awarded the ball. Just under 40 seconds to go here in the first half. Barry runs through 1, 2, 3 checks and riding midfielders, and now she's got numbers. Barry keeps going, finally gets stopped, and now Lenti. Face dodge.
Plenty of time.
Pass there from Montagano gets blocked and then batted out of bounds behind. Now the Sabres have the opportunity, although they miss the clearing pass. Kylie scoops it up.
10 seconds to go.
Into Montagano, and she gets the goal. Montagano from Kylie again. Back-to-back connection, and the Bulldogs bring it to within 1, 7-6.
I think I'll play the lottery after the game because I said Bedford would get it to within 1, would turn this into a new contest in the second half, and here they are within 1.
3 straight goals, 1 by Hodgson Rogers, 2 by Montagano, both assisted by Kylie, and they are back to with that 1-goal margin. 7.5 seconds to go before the first half expires. Still time for another goal here.
There
Don't
is.
sell yourself short. You could tie it up here.
A lot of ground to cover in 7.5 seconds, though, Corey.
Hey, you know, Rajon Rondo can get end-to-end in what, 3 seconds? That's
in his prime.
Yeah, of course, of course. Back to the draw circle. Mary Lenti again for the Bulldogs against Libby Kennedy. Towards the Bulldogs' end, but we'll get a foul called, I believe, on Kylie. Sabres scoop it up. And time expires in this first half of play. That'll do it. After 2, the Bulldogs trail by 1, 7-6. We'll take a break for halftime, about 10 minutes or so. We'll have some little bobbleheads go out at halftime and provide some entertainment. And we'll join you for second half action here from Bedford High School. Girls Division I action as the Bulldogs take on the Souhegan Sabres.
Players providing today's entertainment will be the 8U Red Team.
BCTV and WBNH thank our underwriters. Primary Bank, New Hampshire's bank for business. PrimaryBankNH.com. The Wicks Insurance Group, serving New Hampshire and the Bedford community with auto, home, life, and business insurance since 1984. TheWicksInsuranceGroup.com. Interim Healthcare of Manchester, personalizing care to help meet your unique health needs. InterimHealthcare.com. Nelson Real Estate of New Hampshire, your local brokerage boutique. Relationships built on trust. MrsNelsonsNeighborhood.com. Great New Hampshire restaurants. Food tastes better with family. Tbones.com or Copperdoor.com.
And we're back here at Bedford High School in Bedford, New Hampshire, where the Bedford Bulldogs are taking on the Souhegan Sabres. Halftime score 7-6. I'm Corey Munster-Tiger in the booth here with Kevin Gibbs today. Kevin, any thoughts from that first half of action?
Yeah, I think Bedford showed some real mettle in coming back and getting it to within one goal. It was a good timeout called by Coach Hodgson to kind of resettle her team, refocus them, and they came out and played well. Actually, that penalty shot could have made it a tie game. That's how close Bedford has made this contest, and I'm looking forward to a good second half.
A good second half is just about underway. We have 12 minutes back on the board for this third quarter. Scoring leaders for each team: Lanai Hickman, 3 goals and 1 assist. 2 goals for Izzy Stevenson, a goal apiece for Libby Kennedy and Abby Gianetti for the Sabres. For the Bulldogs, leading the way, Eloise Montagano, 4 goals. Maddie Kiley with a goal and 2 assists. And Carly Hodgson-Rogers with a goal as well. Mary Lenti chipping in with an assist there. That rounds out your scoring. The Bulldogs again trail by 1 as we get this third quarter underway.
Yeah,
Not quite high enough there on the draw, so they will redo it. Ball scoots away from the referee, so take a couple extra seconds there. Game of runs here, Coach, as the Bulldogs got the scoring underway. Maddie Kiley on the first picked off a clearing pass and scored all alone, but then 3 goals by the Sabres, answered by 2 from Bedford. 4 goals by the Sabres, answered by 3 by Bedford. So kind of what we expect and always have come to anticipate in lacrosse games, a game of runs. Maddie Kiley with the draw control. Lenti with a nice job earning that for the Bulldogs. And now LeBlanc will take it behind. All the way towards that end line. Bounce pass up top for Lenti. They work it back behind. Here's Kiley. She's got some space.
And there you go. There you go. Tie game.
There you go. She beats Chrisman to the near post, and Kiley scores, knots the game at 7. Great start here for the Bulldogs, as it's a new ball game.
As you mentioned, a game of runs, and it was almost as if that 10-minute halftime didn't occur from Bedford's perspective. They picked up right where they left off.
Kiley now with 2 goals and 2 assists. Just 35 seconds here into the second half. Back to the draw at midfield. Again, Lenti will take on Libby Kennedy for the Sabres. Lenti pulls it back, beautiful positioning, controls that quite easily, and ahead for Kiley. LeBlanc back to Kiley. Quick little dodge, looking for Hodgson-Rogers, but a little wayward on the pass, and the loose ball is scooped up by Eloise Montagano. LeBlanc draws the double. Kiley now has the ball pop out, scooped up on the D end by Natalie Hiermark. She legs it through midfield. Gets it ahead for the attack. Well, they will settle things down. Lanai Hickman, the sophomore attacker, with 3 and 1 on the game so far. We'll wait for the midfielders to get into the offensive area. Again, that was the lull you to sleep. Libby Kennedy started jogging and then kicked it into another gear. Gets open, and Kennedy Scores her second goal of the game, an assist to Hickman.
It's funny, I was watching that whole thing develop. Bedford had Tegan O'Donnell marked up on her. She was basically her shadow. And there was that fake slow break fast again, and Tegan reacted, but just a split second too late, and that was the space that Souhegan needed to get the ball and the score.
Such an effective play, and yet so easy for a player to do. Just change speeds, right?
It's not how fast you are, it's how adept you are at changing speeds, Corey.
And so Libby Kennedy, nice job with that change of speed. Slows down to a trot, sees the right opportunity, sprints forward with the cut, and Hickman, again, head up, beautiful pass. 3 goals and 2 assists for Hickman now, and 2 goals for Libby Kennedy. 10:16 to go in the third quarter. 8-7, the Sabres ahead by 1. Infraction on the Sabres. I think it was an empty check. So the Bulldogs get possession on that. And they trot it behind. Here's Montagano. LeBlanc. Now Muir. Muir looks in the middle, finds Montagano, and she buries 5 goals now for Montagano.
Having herself a game.
Why not? Molly Muir on the assist. And we're knotted at 8.
By number 2, Eloise Montagano. Assist number 12, Molly Muir.
Just a little give and go there. Nice replay.
Most
Take
definitely.
advantage of the defender looking away from the cutter, and that gives you just enough space, and also a phenomenal catch in traffic. You know, that cannot go underestimated, as it's tough to keep track of that ball through a forest of sticks. Montagano with great concentration and is able to bury over Crispin. Ooh, Hodgson got whacked in the head. Yeah, we're going to see a card there.
Yep. Clock is stopped. It looks like
Libby Kennedy will trot off with yellow.
Yep.
She'll go in the box and feel shame while Hodgson Rogers retreats to the 40. We'll get restarted.
Looks like
Bulldogs
the
will have
officials.
an extra person opportunity here. Yeah, the officials chatting it over.
Yeah.
Tough one there. Kennedy's trying to make an aggressive defensive play. Just had her stick get a bit wayward. Good hustle here by Avery Curran, trying to get that ball on the turf. She does, but the Bulldogs are there to scoop it up. And now Mary Lenti will start things off. So the Bulldogs with an extra player, well, not an extra, a person up as the foul gets served. Hodgson Rogers tries to get the edge. Here's LeBlanc. Kylie now. Behind to Muir. Mary Lenti. Hesitation. Good defense there by Eva Stiles for the Sabres. Kylie now. Dips the shoulder. Hodgson Rogers can't squeeze it.
She was right there. Right there.
Tough one there, and the Sabres will clear it out, and that should kill off the penalty here as Kennedy serves out the rest of that infraction. Avery Curran gets fouled by Tegan O'Donnell, so they will restart. And Izzy Stevenson will walk it patiently across the top of the offensive restraining box here as the Sabres wait for that infraction to expire. Here's Lanai Hickman. Way out top left of Irene Sy. 7:40 to go here in the third quarter. We're knotted at 8, and that penalty is released now. So Kennedy comes in from the sideline. Here's Hickman. Beautiful move to get to her right. Split dodge. She finishes low left and puts the Sabres back ahead, 9-8.
I won't pretend to know a lot of the nuances, Corey, but Tegan O'Donnell was on the ball, and when the player came off from the penalty box, she immediately switched over to mark her up, and if you see, she just went up there to the upper right in your screen, and I think that caused just a little bit of an opening for that goal to be scored.
Tough during communication during that quick interchange there, as it looked like Melanie Gibson was trying to switch over and just not quite quick enough with her feet either. And Hickman was able to make that nice split dodge to her right, finish low left. 9-8, 7:21 to go in the third quarter. Kennedy back to the draw circle for the Sabres. Lenti for the Bulldogs. It gets pulled back, and Izzy Stevenson will come away with it for the Sabres. Kylie tries to ride her out of bounds. Can't quite do it. Now the Sabres will settle things down. Izzy Stevenson surveys the scene. Dumps it to Emerson Curran. All the way behind for Hickman. Hickman with the patient approach, looking for cutters. Cut and recut as Avery Curran was trying to find some space there. Here's Abby Gianetti. Now up top for Avery Curran. Runs through some traffic there. Save. Beautiful save. Irene Tsai stick side high and stayed true. Melanie Gibson scoops up the ground ball. Takes it all the way to sideline. Gets whacked a couple times and she gets fouled. So she'll scoop it up as they continue to try to clear it out from the Bedford D end. Pops out of Melanie Gibson's stick. And Hickman gets that loose ball. Under 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. 9-8, the Sabres lead by 1. A little bit of back and forth here in the third quarter, Kevin, as Kylie started things, and then Kennedy scored, Hickman scored, and then Hickman scored again. Yeah. Again, you talked about momentum shifting earlier, and right now the momentum is in Souhegan's favor. And it looks, whoa, nice save. Oh, great save. Irene Tsai, offside high, catches up to Kennedy, as she looked like she was going to make another beautiful cut through the middle and finish high. And now faking out everybody. Lanai Hickman, everybody thought she was going to go to the left side. She switches hands, comes back to the right. They all evacuate from this side on the D, and she comes back where nobody is. Near side, finishes over Irene Tsai. And Lanai Hickman has 5 goals.
Yeah, she's definitely standing apart in this game, and Bedford is doing everything they can to mark her up and to mark Libby Kennedy up as well. And Hickman is only a sophomore, so she has a few good years ahead of her playing for the Sabres.
A standout sophomore for sure. The Sabres relatively young. They have several sophomore, a few freshmen playing. 3 freshmen, 4 sophomores on the field as starters. So bright future for Coach Spordone. Back to the draw circle. Mary Lenti again for the Bulldogs. Libby Kennedy again for the Sabres. 4:28 to go in the third quarter. 10-8, the Sabres ahead by 2. Kennedy pulls it back to the defensive end. Scoops it up, and now headmans to Izzy Stevenson. Stevenson trots it in and settles it down. Avery Curran setting up that split dodge, but the ball pops out of her stick. Kathleen De Silva there, can't quite scoop it. And the Sabres, I guess, will be called for another empty check. Another whack on Makita Berry. She runs through 2 and 3. Now 4 and 5 players.
Here we go, Tina!
Great mobility there by Makita Berry as she motored it through the midfield. Foul here by Madison Bench. She'll be sent behind. 3.5 to go as Kylie will set up the offense as they go behind Eloise Montagano. Slips one defender, now draws a double. Sophie Jacobs playing that backer position for the Sabres has been effective all afternoon on that first dodge. Marley Bacon will get called for the foul. Mary Lenti now. Chooses not to take on the defender. Montagano has it scoot away. Chrisman tries to gather it, but it goes over her head. It's Sophie Jacobs with the loose ball. Jacobs still going, and now she'll slow down and pass to Stevenson. 2.5 to go in the third quarter, a 2-goal lead for the Sabres. Stevenson looks to ISO, left hand, and we'll get our first shooting space call of the day. That was Andy Nugent trying to sneak in and get some space there. Izzy Stevenson will have the free position 8-meter. To the top right of Cy, 2 steps, fires high and beats Cy.
It's like that is the sweet spot. They have scored quite a few goals in that part of the net.
Stevenson's third on the day.
Stevenson.
And she puts the Sabres up 3. 11-8 with 1:59 to go in the third quarter. See that replay here. Starts with a stick low. 2 or 3 steps. A little 3/4 action there. Not directly over, not sidearm, but 3/4 from the top. She finds that top center right above Irene Cy and pushes it back to a 3-goal lead. Tough one there. 3-goal run for the Sabres after the Bulldogs had tied it at 8 on the goal from Montagano from Muir. And with 2 minutes to go in the third, the Sabres have pushed it back to a 3-goal lead.
Bedford can't let up here. Oftentimes you fight so hard to get back into the game that you take a breather and the other team is able to stretch things out again. It's important for Bedford to keep the foot on the gas pedal.
Kylie takes the draw here, and the Bulldogs win it. Here's Eloise Montagano. Lenti. Back to Montagano. Now up top, Carly Hodgson-Rogers. Montagano, nice footwork there to elude one defender. Draws a crowd though, good help defense by the Sabres. Hodgson-Rogers runs into a double team. They draw it out and away. Nice cut on the back door from Makita Berry, but they can't make the connection. And Stevenson comes away with the ground ball for the Sabres. Stevenson right along the sideline here as Molly Muir tries to get her to step out, but no dice. The Sabres keep control. Hickman now. Up top. Curran. Emerson Curran, nice little dodge there. Gets shooting space called. And
yep, I think that was...
will not be a goal because they did call the shooting space before the goal was scored. In some cases you're starting to see the officials hold up a flag as in a delayed infraction, but in this case they blow the whistle and call it. And to the Bulldogs' advantage here.
That was big. That was big. Rather than being down 4, it's still a 3-goal differential, and Bedford gets a new life.
Emerson Curran couldn't finish the 8-meter, but she did get fouled as she was approaching the crease, got bumped, and they'll give her a second chance at it. So to the top left of Irene Tsai, and Tsai stands tall with the save. Beautiful stick side high save by number 33, the junior goalkeeper, and keeps it a 3-goal lead. Here's Andy Nugent, runs into traffic to Hickman. Yeah, and Nugent fouls on the ensuing ground ball as Kennedy had picked it up. Nugent will get a yellow and be sent off with 19 seconds to go in the third quarter. 11-8 is your score, and the Souhegan Sabres look to get another one here before this period ends. Kennedy, Stevenson, back to Kennedy. Gets to the right, shot, score. And they push it out to a 4-goal lead, 12-8. See that little give and go. Kennedy to Stevenson, back to Kennedy. Kennedy had 2 and 3 defenders in front of her, just too good on the shot, and beats Tsai.
Their foot speed is really an asset, and their ability to pass the ball and connect on those passes is a big difference in this game.
Quickness, amazing, especially on that stop and start. We talked about the change of speed. This time we saw the change of direction from Kennedy. And Libby Kennedy gets her 3rd on the day. Assist to Stevenson. She has 3 and 1 now. 11.8 seconds to go in the third quarter. The Sabres ahead by 4. Bulldogs with a potential here. 4, 3, 2. Long distance shot. Easy one for Crispin as she's playing catch. And that'll do it for the third quarter.
Well,
12-8 is your score. The Sabres by 4.
Let's put some pressure on the Bulldogs here in the final 12 minutes. Most definitely.
It sure does, both on the offensive end to score quickly, but also at the draw circle and trying to win possession back. So Bulldogs with their work cut out for them in the final 12 minutes here. We at BCTV and WBNH would like to thank our underwriters for supporting our live sports coverage. Primary Bank, the Wicks Insurance Group, Interim Healthcare of Manchester, Nelson Real Estate of New Hampshire, and great New Hampshire restaurants, T-Bones and the Copper Door, really helping us provide this live sports coverage. It's very much appreciated as you see some replays from that third quarter of action and all throughout earlier in this game. Tsai with a save there up top. Again, we talked about it, 3 and 4 goal runs all throughout this game. A 3-goal run in the first quarter from the Sabres, a 4-goal run in the second, followed by 4-goal run by the Bedford Bulldogs at the end of the second and to start the third. And now here in the third quarter, 5 goals to only 2 for the Bulldogs, the last 4 of which came from Hickman, Stevenson, Kennedy, and that trio has been absolutely deadly this afternoon for the Sabres. Lanai Hickman with 5 and 2, Libby Kennedy with 3, Izzy Stevenson with 3 and 1.
Bedford's been doing their best to mark them up and to be with them as much as possible, but actually all of those players that you mentioned are capable of breaking free, and it's the sign of a group of players that have practiced hard and practiced a lot, and they know where their teammates are going to be and when they're going to be there. And oftentimes it's not the speed, it's the awareness of what your teammate's going to do, and Souhegan has excelled at that today.
Quick mention, too, of the stick skills that we're seeing from the Sabres, too. It's not only speed, quickness, change of direction, but they have total command of that ball when it's in their stick. You can tell they've done a lot of work with their teammates, a lot of wall ball, working as much as possible to hone in those stick skills, and we're seeing that evidence today. 12 minutes back on the board, just about ready for fourth quarter action. Again, the Bulldogs locked into their playoff seeding. I think you said it was the 7th seed.
I believe they're locked into the 7th seed, but you don't want to finish out the season on a slump. You want to finish as strong as possible going into those playoffs. because you don't know who you're going to see. I mean, they could very easily, if things play out the way they almost look like they would, they could be seeing Pinkerton in that 7-2 matchup, and you know, they played them to a really tight contest last week. So you know, you want to make sure that you're fully prepared.
Again, the Bulldogs will travel to Goffstown tomorrow afternoon, 4 p.m. start. You can see that action right here on BCTV through our partners with Goffstown Public TV. We will take their live feed and broadcast it on BCTV's channels 8 and 1072 HD. Ready for the fourth quarter to get going here. Kylie back in the draw circle for the Bulldogs against Libby Kennedy for the Sabres. Last minute communication with the officials, making sure goalies are set and we're ready to get underway. Sticks being positioned, and there we are, off to the races, right to Izzy Stevenson, right into the offensive area, right down low and right in the goal. Stevenson finds the cutter, Abby Giannetti. They extended to a 5-goal lead.
Giannetti found herself completely unguarded right in front of the net, and they found her, and again, that's a tough shot to defend.
Souhegan goal by number 5.
Yeah, amazing there too, as the Bulldogs position themselves to have 5 folks back, 5 players back in the defensive area, and Giannetti just escaped everybody. As all the attention was being paid to Stevenson, we know how much of a threat she is with the ball in her stick, but all that attention on Stevenson left Giannetti open wide, right in front of the crease, and she's able to finish. Just 9 seconds into this fourth quarter, and the Sabres push it out to a 5-goal lead and now win the ensuing draw. Stevenson will relax. Here's Avery Curran, and now Kennedy. Split dodge there, but on the backside, Leah LeBlanc, I believe. No, sorry, that will be Tegan O'Donnell will get called for a shooting space. So Kennedy to the top right of Cy. Shot, goal.
Good, yeah.
Bouncer right in, and Kennedy pushes it to a 6-goal lead, 14-8. See the replay here, top right, 2 steps in, tough bouncer, and Cy can't catch up. 14-8 is your score. Just 1 minute into this fourth quarter, and not the way the Bulldogs wanted to see this last stanza start.
Not at all, not at all. They worked so hard to get it to within 1 at the half, and it was tied 8-8, and since then Souhegan has gone on a 6-goal tear and kind of running away with it a little bit.
So if you're Coach Hodgson, are you looking for another timeout? Are you going to wait? Are you going to try to get into the offensive area? What's your thoughts here on trying to stem this tide?
If it were me, I'd see what my players are capable of doing, but you don't want it to get out of hand. So if they aren't able to make something happen pretty quickly, I'd say it's time to call a timeout and give those instructions.
Montagano had the loose ball in her stick, got fouled on the way. Ball did go out of bounds, but due to the foul, the Bedford Bulldogs will have possession. She draws Natalie Hiermark. And now Lenti, way out top to the right of Chrisman. 10:30 to go in the game. Sabres ahead by 6. The Bulldogs need to cash in on this possession. Lenti gets top side, goes for the inside roll, switches back to a right hand.
Nice move.
Had the delayed foul called, but didn't need it. She cashes in high above Chrisman. That's exactly what the Bulldogs needed, a quick goal and back to the draw circle to see if they can do it again.
I like the confidence that Coach Hodgson showed in her players to go out and make something happen. You know, all too often, coaches put that hand up and take the timeout and want to affect what's going on, but you have to trust your players. And Bedford has some very capable young ladies playing this game, and I think that was a good call on Coach's part. Now they got to do it again.
They got to do it again and again and again and again. Should I keep going?
Yeah, you can do that at least 5 times.
Inside roll by Lenti, too. You saw her drive hard to the right hand, switched hands, then back to her right hand, right in front of the crease. Did a great job of not stepping in that crease. Good body control, and finished high over Chrisman. Back to the draw circle. Kylie wins it for the Bulldogs. Ticking down to 10 minutes to go. Montagano gets to her right. Good defense, but she'll draw a foul. Montagano will have the 8 meter as she got fouled on the top right shoulder. Excuse me, top left shoulder. And now to the top left of Chrisman. Passes in the middle to Kylie. They can't make the connection. Loose ball out in front. Barry scoops it up. Shot score.
Good to score.
Hustle play by Makita Barry.
Very aggressive play by the Bulldogs on that penalty shot, and they stayed right with it, put a lot of pressure on the goalie, and came away successful.
Makita Barry gets her first goal of the afternoon, as you saw in the replay. Just heads-up play. Gathered in a loose ball in traffic. Take a couple steps away from all that ruckus and now finds the back of the net. 14-10 is the score. 9:43 to go in the game. Bulldogs still trail by 4.
Maddie Kiley is taking the draw now.
For the Bulldogs, and Libby Kennedy for the Sabres. Kennedy has been at the draw all afternoon. Bulldogs have been alternating between Maddie Kiley and Mary Lenti. And this time it goes right to the stick of Izzy Stevenson for the Sabres. Easy catch and control for Stevenson. The Sabres will settle things into their half-field offense. Avery Curran back behind. Here's Hickman. 5-2 on the day for Hickman. She tries the inside roll. Good job by Melanie Gibson. Now Hickman gets back to the middle. Back and forth, the rocker step. Tough to keep up with her, and Hickman now has 6. You just see there, Melanie Gibson just doing a great job staying with her until that last move, and Hickman just stayed persistent, kept changing position, changing direction. Finally got her strong hand free and finishes to the top left of the cage, 15-10.
Allows Souhegan the opportunity to breathe a little bit here, but Bedford should continue to be as aggressive as they can be.
.907 to go in the game. Kylie back to the draw circle for the Bulldogs against Kennedy. We'll get a foul and a push on Kennedy, even though she hit the deck. Oh, and now we're going to get a card, I believe, for some chirping.
Interesting.
Although it's just a warning. It was a green, not a yellow.
Green card, yeah.
So they do send a player behind. That's Avery Curran. Now running into traffic was Makita Barry. The ball pops out of her stick. Good help defense by the Sabres. And they foil a clearing attempt. Hickman gets fouled from behind by Mary Lenti. And now the Sabres will restart and probably take their jolly time with a 5-goal lead and 8:28 to go.
I would think so.
Here's Avery Curran. Very patient approach. Tegan O'Donnell Trying to extend a little bit here and apply some pressure. Kennedy cutting through, step to the ball by Irene Tsai, and that step saved the goal.
Lost sight of the ball there just for a second. She was fortunate nobody from Souhegan was there to pounce on it.
Good job by Tsai. Goalies are taught to step with that lead foot. In that case, it led to the save as Hodgson Rogers gets chased down from behind. And now stepping up, beautiful intercepted pass, Marley Bacon. Big play there for the Sabres. Just anticipated that pass beautifully, stepped up at the right time. May have even baited the player to make the pass. She gets the turnover. 5-goal lead for the Sabres, ticking down to 7 minutes here in the game. And the Bedford defense will need to do it again. Sometimes that's a frustrating thing. Your goalie makes a stop, you clear it out, and then you make a tough turnover and you're right back at it. Good D here by Kathleen De Silva, but then finally getting around. Nice save by Tsai. Melanie Gibson battles for the ground ball on the end line, comes away with it. Runs through a few riding Sabres players, rolls away from pressure. Tries to connect in the midfield to Barry, but she can't squeeze it. And now Barry gets pushed. Foul called. Kylie picks it up and gets things moving towards the offensive end. Kylie squeaks through the double.
Through. Wow.
Powers through. You're absolutely right. The double team not quite enough, and Kylie buries her third of the game, and it's back to a 4-goal game.
Still plenty of time left. 6:16.
See the replay here as it started way out front. The double comes about 10 yards above the goal, and Kylie just with some strength and stick skills to keep that ball in her stick. Gets a little bit of room and finishes high to the top right of Emma Chrisman. 15-11. 6:16 to go. See if, yeah, Maddie Kiley still on the draw for the Bulldogs, and Libby Kennedy, as we've seen throughout, on the draw for the Sabres. Bulldogs taking a very defensive posture with 6 players in the defensive end.
Well, after
just
that,
2 on the offensive end.
After that Giannetti goal, I'm sure coach is making sure that does not happen again.
Marvelous draw control there by Kylie. With one hand, was able to get it in her stick and start to cradle. She was fouled, and now Kylie with a head of steam. And you're absolutely right. That Giannetti goal probably stung quite a bit for Coach Hodgson. All alone on the crease with nobody paying attention. Kylie now draws the double. She'll get a charge there, absolutely.
Offensive.
Sophie Jacobs stepped into the way, took that charge, and earns the ball back for the Sabres. Maddie Kylie will be sent behind. Montagano on the ride, on the clear. Madison Ben was getting angled off to that far sideline, and we'll get a timeout. Coach Bordone sees her player in trouble, and she'll take the timeout to preserve the possession. 5:28 to go in the game. The Sabres ahead, 15-11 here in Bedford. 4-goal margin. Coach, what are you thinking here in these last 5.5 minutes? If you're Coach Hodgson, how do you get back into this?
I'm not sure that this is an athletic term, but you almost have to throw caution to the wind. You have to take some risks, and you can't let Souhegan control possession. You've got to do everything you can to have the ball in your stick and to be attacking the net as much as you can. And I'm sure, Coach Hodgson is delivering that or a very similar message, because Souhegan's message at this point, Spordone's message, is going to be be patient. We're the ones that are up. As a coach, you always remind your players, time and score, time and score, time and score. Take a look at the clock, look at the scoreboard, and use it to your advantage. And Bedford's charge really is to speed things up and hopefully force Souhegan to make some mistakes.
Bulldogs will be on the defensive end here, or not quite, as the Sabres are looking to clear it out, but assuming the Sabres do get it into the offensive area, the Bulldogs can use a defensive version of pulling the goalie in hockey, as they can try to double team when that ball goes behind. The goalie can step out and take a defensive position on the nearest offensive player, giving the field players the opportunity to double the ball anywhere possible. They may not need it here, as the Sabres miss the connection. De Silva keeps it inbounds.
Bedford ball.
Earns the ball back for Bedford. Nugent gets checked from behind, and the ground ball scooped up by Emerson Curran. Here's Meredith Highmark. She fires it behind for Abby Gianetti. Far side for Hickman. Hickman 6-2 on the day. Phenomenal output.
Taking her time.
For her, and as she should, the sophomore attacker is taking her jolly time. 4.5 to go. No shot clock at the high school level. Many people might have been watching Division I lacrosse over the holiday weekend, as it's a huge weekend for college lacrosse. They observe those shot clocks at the college level, but no such thing here at the high school level. North Carolina capping off an undefeated season with a championship. Congratulations to them. As here you see Emerson Curran drawing a double, causing some problems for the defense, and now she'll earn a free position top left of Cy. Kathleen De Silva will be sent behind. Cy will try to keep this a 4-goal game, and she does. Because Emerson Curran pulls it out and decides to bleed off some more time. Hickman.
It's a sound strategy.
Absolutely. Ooh, tough one there. A swipe at the stick dislodges the ball. Molly Muir with the check, but called an illegal check, so it's granted back to the Sabres. Hickman gets herself some breathing room. Now looks for cutters. Here's Natalie Highmark. Fakes the handoff to Meredith Highmark. And we're down to 2.5 to go in the game. Here's Hickman again. Gets the edge right down the middle, pulls the trigger, but we're going to have a shooting space violation before that. Melanie Gibson steps up into an illegal defensive position and gets called for the infraction. So a free position 8 meter to the top right of Irene Sy. 2 steps, and Hickman pulls it back out again, choosing to bleed off more time. A 4-goal margin, and they think the time is more important than the goal. In this case, again, De Silva with the shooting space violation. Natalie Highmark will have the free position to the top left of Cy, and she'll run away. It's an important lesson for the Sabres in this case. Again, a very close game. They have possession. They're going to value the ball more than scoring opportunities. and basically play keep away for the remaining 75 seconds or so as De Silva gets called for a foul. So a game of runs looks like it's going to come to a close. 60 seconds left here, and the Sabres ahead by 4.
1 minute remaining in the period.
Coach Gibbs, thoughts here?
Just that Souhegan is definitely a formidable team. They are going to make some noise in the postseason, but having seen them and Portsmouth, I'll tell you, I'm not sure anybody's going to touch Portsmouth this year.
And to finish it off, Hickman with a little behind the back goal. She got time and space right there on the crease, felt the defender coming quickly. We'll see it on the replay. Nobody there. She catches the ball, a little flip behind her back, and Hickman has 7 goals on the game, and that will ice it. 16-11 is your score, 40 seconds left. The Sabres ahead by 5.
What's the number of goals it earns a free Sunday at Friendlies?
I'm sure. Well, if I was Mr. Hickman, I would say 7 is certainly that number.
It might also mean a full dinner someplace ahead of time.
16-11 and a nice cherry on top for Hickman. That'll do it. And yes, this is a good opportunity for both teams to learn a little bit as they get into pressure situations, learn about situational awareness, as you mentioned several times, time and score, have the awareness, know what's going on. You did see the double team finally come from the Bulldogs, but in my opinion, they needed to put that on about 3 or 4 minutes earlier as they were down 4 and 5 goals and needed to get that ball back, or at least try to force a turnover, a wayward pass, a missed catch, something to get that ball back on the ground. They will redo the draw. Kennedy.
Looks like Lenti back in there.
Lenti is back in there. And Kennedy wins it. She'll trot over into the offensive area, finds Natalie Highmark. Highmark looking for more. Right down the middle. Pass to Giannetti. She chooses not to shoot. Snipe here from Hickman. She now has 8. Beats Cy. Up top on the stick side high. Just can't quite catch up to that one. Just too much time and space for Hickman. And that pushes it out to 17-11. Do want to acknowledge our crew today. As I mentioned earlier, Andrew Fenn back in the studio helping with replays. Very helpful for us to see what the heck's going on, because our eyes are both getting better right here. Not really getting better, they're getting much worse. Bill Jennings up top. If he could have covered himself with any more sun protection, he would have done it. I think he lathered up with SPF 45 and put on long sleeves everywhere. He still might have got a sunburn on this 80-degree afternoon. We appreciate both those guys' help. Kevin, always appreciate doing a game with you.
Thank you. Same here, Corey.
I imagine you have plenty of summer basketball plans to keep up training your players and help building the skills of others.
Most definitely. It never ends. It never ends. We're lucky here in Bedford. We've got a lot of committed players throughout all sports.
Lenti has the loose ball. She'll travel into the offensive area as the Bulldogs have some last-ditch efforts here. Montagano might get another one here. Draws a triple. Delayed penalty. Doesn't need it, and Montagano scores. Montagano with 6 goals of her own this afternoon makes it 17-12. But just 3.4 seconds left in this game, and that will just about do it. Again, the Bedford Bulldogs will travel to Goffstown tomorrow for their last regular season game of the 2025 spring. They'll look to bounce back from this loss against the Goffstown Grizzlies. We will bring you that coverage from Goffstown through their public TV feed. 4 p.m. is the start. And then we will have the boys lacrosse game on Friday evening, 6 p.m. face-off against the Pinkerton Astros with playoff implications. Tune in for that one on channels 8 or 1072. Again, thank you to the BCTV crew. Final score this afternoon, 17-12. The Souhegan Sabres come to Bedford and hang a loss on the Bulldogs late in the season. Coach Gibbs, any final thoughts?
Just that even though this does not, unless I'm really wrong in my calculations, doesn't affect where they'll finish in the postseason, I think it's important that Bedford comes back tomorrow against Division II rival Goffstown and finishes strong so that they can go into next Tuesday's first round with some confidence.
Close out the regular season if they can with the win at Goffstown, and then, like you said, playoffs next week. We will try to bring you as much action as possible right here on BCTV. Again, for the crew, for Kevin, I'm Corey Munster Tiger. We appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll see you next time. Have a great evening.